Hello, all bettors and bettees. Welcome back to the Fades and Parlays podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Wright. I'm joined here by Mr. Sanders. Say hello, Mr. Sanders.
Hello, Mr. Sanders.
And you'll also notice our correspondent, Mr. Grassy Fields, who will be sharing some insight with you later as to why we came up with this podcast and why we're actually doing it, and how we came about the concept. Mr. Sanders has been gambling on NFL for the past quarter century. Very successfully, I might add. Very successfully. So successful that I, who don't normally put money on any type of NFL games or any games, period, I usually don't gamble at all.
No.
I've been watching Mr. Sanders work for the past 3 years now. And that's why I chose this year to put some money in his pocket in hopes that he'll put some money back in my pocket. A little bit more than I gave him. I'm a happy camper. It didn't take me any convincing, more than just watching what he does, watching every weekend, seeing how much money he was making, and maybe want a little bit of piece of that pie for myself. So I can share with you actually the last 5 years of his gambling record, starting with 2019, at which he gambled in 96. His record was 96, 39, and 6. He hit at 71%, which is insane for those of you who follow gambling and how often people win. He won that Super Bowl choosing Kansas City. In 2020, he went 107, 41, and 4, which is 72%. He went 9-1 in the playoffs. Also won the Super Bowl that year by taking Tampa Bay over Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, which is kind of crazy. In 2021, he went 101, 37, and 7 at 73%. 9-1 in the playoffs. Won a fade bet in that Super Bowl, which for those of you who gamble know exactly what that is. Mr. Sanders will get into that more at a later date.
Yeah.
In 2022, he went 96, 32, and 4, hitting at 73%, went 8-1 in the playoffs, and also won that Super Bowl, choosing Kansas City again.
Yeah.
And 2023, he went 100, 37, and 5, which is 73%. Went 8-3 in the playoffs, and also chose Kansas City in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So for those of you who gamble often and you know how these things go, you know in Vegas, if you're winning at over 50%, you're considered successful. Mr. Sanders is hitting at a way higher clip than that, which is what got me and our co-host, Mr. Grassy Fields, here to convince him to even do this in the first place. Because he tries to be humble about what he does, and I tell him humble makes no money. Got to be confident. So we're going to be cocky for him, okay? And he has lots of people in his life that give him money before the season starts because they know if they give him money, if they give him $5, he's going to at least give them 6 back at the end of the season.
Right.
Our correspondent, Mr. Grassy Fields, who you see sitting in front of the nice Fades and Parlays podcast sign back there, has been gambling with Mr. Sanders for about the past 3 or 4 years. He's going to go ahead and share a little bit of his story with you and tell us why he does what he does and why he chose to put money in Mr. Sanders' pocket. Mr. Grassy Fields, the floor is yours, sir.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Sanders, how we doing, fellas?
We're doing great.
Hey, man, I'm excited for this season. I, just like any football season, over the past 5 years especially, I've been doing a lot of studying, so to speak, with Mr. Sanders when it comes to football, and he's given me so many good picks over the last couple of years that it's, I'm a returning customer, as well as just, Mr. Sanders being a close friend and sharing his knowledge with me. I tend to double my money actually on each year that I've, bet with him and stuff, which is, when you can feel safe about your bets and go at a 70% win percentage and double your money, you're not doing so bad. So,
that's almost not even gambling, right?
It doesn't feel like it. I mean, certain weeks you'll have a bad week here and there. That's just gambling. That's how it goes. But man, I go into each weekend pretty confident in what I'm putting down and what I'm doing with Mr. Sanders. And it's been a pleasure just learning the game with him, learning the right way to gamble with him. And, I look forward to it year in and year out. I kind of fell out of football for a number of years before moving back to my hometown. And, started talking football maybe 5, 6 years ago. My little brother, who was living here, going to school, he actually was the one who really got me introduced to what Mr. Sanders does. And he was having all kinds of success with him too. And, at that point, my brother being, you know, best guy I know, we start talking football and he starts kind of getting me interested on all of this. And turns out he knew what he was doing when it comes to coming to Mr. Sanders for his football advice and his football knowledge. And
Right.
so in turn, I just, kind of started doing the same thing. And to the victor goes the spoils, man. I was happy after starting it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That sounds amazing. So you say your brother's been getting money put in his pocket for some years before you even started getting a little Mr. Sanders,
Man.
correct?
Yeah, he's even when he moved out of town, he's kept up with the info and each season doing the same thing as me. He's hard at work with his schooling and stuff, but he likes to make an extra few bucks during the football season to help
I
support
mean, who,
himself. And
who doesn't, right? Who doesn't?
exactly. And so, Mr. Sanders has been helpful in helping my brother get some groceries here and there,
Uh, Hey,
get a haircut when he needs to.
groceries. We all need groceries, right?
Yep, yep.
Gotta eat to live, right?
Hey, that's what I'm here to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you sharing, Mr. Grassy Fields. And we will be looking forward to you joining us from time to time throughout the season and sharing how you've done on some of your picks, being guided by our Mr. Sanders here. And the point of this podcast to our audience is to give you the same experience that Mr. Grassy Fields has had, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to be getting these picks free for now. These what I call gems. And if hopefully if you gamble with us, you will also see the same success that everyone who has gambled, taking Mr. Sanders' advice, has seen. Right?
Like, yeah. Hey, well, thanks for having me, gentlemen. I'm looking forward to coming back on more episodes to come and being a part of this. I just every year I appreciate doing this with Mr. Sanders, and I'm glad that we're getting the info out to the public to help some other people win some money too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'll be catching you guys very soon, and to all the betters and betties out there, enjoy the episode, huh?
Signing off.
Number
All
love,
right.
Grassy
Guys, later.
Fields.
Mr.
Hell
Grassy
yeah.
Fields is signing off. Thank you, sir.
That was
So
awesome.
now we're going to get into some of our preseason week 2 selections. If any of you have been paying attention to our Instagram or to our YouTube page, you know that we've been doing some shorts. Mr. Sanders has been pretty active in doing shorts and giving you guys picks on his preseason.
Yeah.
All right, so as I understand it, we took Philly versus New England at +5.
Yes, we did.
And how did we do on that game, Mr. Sanders?
We hit that game earlier in the week. I
Go.
believe it was Wednesday. We ended up taking them at +4. And then I saw the line move because I was getting the word out, take it at +4, +4. Then I saw the following morning that the line moved. And that's why I hate grabbing them a little early. But line moved, so I tried to make sure whoever was paying attention, +5, we're getting extra points, take them at +5, which we would have hit it at +4. So if you got both of them, congratulations.
Winning.
Twice.
That's a beautiful thing.
Two
That's a
times.
beautiful thing as well. So we also took the New York Giants versus Houston. We took that money line, right? And we took Houston money line.
It's Houston money line.
Pretty sure that game just wrapped up not too long ago.
Yeah, about 20 minutes ago, and that was an ass whooping.
That was an announcement, so that means we made money.
Yeah, so Houston hit him 28-10. It was nice to get the last 2 touchdowns at the end. They're pretty deep. quarterback wise, second and third teams. It's pretty much been like that. There's been no shock. A couple teams are like that. But yeah, that was a beatdown.
Houston looks like they might be an issue this year, right? I mean, CJ Stroud can have a repeat performance, and some of these guys come along, right?
No, I can't wait.
Right, let's go. So our third game was Atlanta at Baltimore.
Yeah.
We took Baltimore money line.
We did.
And how did we do in that one?
By the skin of our teeth. 13-12 Baltimore, we covered.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. So if you're keeping track, ladies and gentlemen, that's 3-0.
That's 3-0 this weekend, and we are at 6-2 to the preseason at this point.
6-2 through for most folks, we'll consider preseason very unpredictable. Calling it, although Mr. Sanders will not agree, calling it vanilla. We're not seeing starters. And yet and still, Mr. Sanders, with all his research, all his years of experience, all his film watching, is still able to go 6-2 at this point. When the real season hasn't even started yet. So that should excite all of you who are choosing to follow us and listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
We have one more game this weekend.
We do.
That's Jets at Carolina.
Yep.
We're taking Jets money line.
Yep.
How you feel about that game, and why did you go Jets money line?
You know what? I saw what Carolina was. I know what they're going to put out. To my understanding, they're not going to have Dalton, which is going to kind of keep their quarterback short. Sorry, I'm kind of keeping my eyes on the Kansas City game as we speak. To make sure, just depth-wise, the Jets were looking pretty good. They their third stringer was the UFL MVP, Mr. Martinez.
Okay.
And a kid that I'm keeping my eye on for the Jets, their running back Allen. The kid has been running really hard. He's like a slim down AJ Dillon for the Packers. That kid is running through stuff. So I'm kind of keeping my eye on him, which I think would really be nice for the Jets. If they can get anything like that with Breece Hall, forget about it. But again, preseason, this is kind of why, every second of every game at every single level, literally 2 games at once, which, oh my gosh, I forgot about the Cleveland Browns game, which I'm about to get on right now because this is how we roll.
Right. If you folks don't know, he has multiple TVs set up in his house.
Yeah.
So he watches multiple games at one time. He splits the screens. He likes to call it a happy heart attack.
Yes, I do.
Just watching these games. A little something else about those Jets there, Mr. Sanders. Did you do something with them for the over/under for the season?
Yeah. So the for the most part, for most places, the Jets opened up at 9 games for the over/under on the year. Which is pretty rare. I can't think of many times at all over the decades where I've seen an actual round number. That's always a half, which is your hook, which we've talked about before on our other podcasts. But by the time I went to go grab it, because I just wanted to make sure for the most part everybody stays. Oh, there he goes. Sorry. So, but yeah, this is going to happen. So kind of get used to it because this is how we roll.
Yes, sir.
But it's at 9.5 now. So yes, I laid a substantial amount.
And you got it at Jets. 9.
On the over. No, I ended up getting them at 9.5. Which, yes, I am kind of kicking myself in the butt because I don't like that half number. But, it's okay. I wanted to make sure, people were kind of getting through a little bit healthy with one more week to go with what the Jets are going to do, how Salo usually normally goes about things. So hopefully, everybody can kind of keep themselves healthy, Mr. Rogers, and kind of just do what they're doing, because even if they get 80% of what that man can normally do, the Jets, I can't wait to watch an offense with that defense. It's ridiculous that they don't get talked about the way they do, but they will.
Would you call the Jets your dark horse for this season, or would they even consider dark horse with that roster?
You know what? I always, I can't think of a year where I haven't had a dark horse, to be honest with you. Last year it was Cleveland. People told me I was crazy, and they had like 62 quarterbacks alone. And Mr. Joe Flacco, who I hate Joe Flacco, but
let it be known.
Yeah, let it be known.
Let it be known.
But they ended up doing what they were doing, and ended up getting in. And it was that defense, which was the biggest thing I was telling people. That defense is going to be absolutely just really, really good. People were looking at me like I was dumb. What are you going to do? Now I look at them. So it pretty much comes to that. I don't know about my dark horse though. We'll see what's what. I pretty much expect the same thing. Get in there. To expect the same thing. To be honest with you, defensively, they put up 23, 24 points. Forget it. Forget it. They're going to just, I would love to watch them at the top, like versus Kansas City at the top with, since ooh. So we'll see.
Right.
It's going to be a fun year, especially AFC, which it should be because it's just the better conference.
So you think if that offense can produce 23, 24 points a game, that people are going to be scoring more than that on that defense?
Oh, there's no. They're my favorite to take the AFC East. Everybody is riding the Dolphin and Tua fan, and they need to get off of that. I don't know what the hell they're doing, and I can't.
That's it.
Well,
that's a hot
Buffalo,
take right
we don't
there
know
for
what
those-
we're getting with
those of you
Buffalo,
listening.
but the Jets are my pick to win the AFC East this year.
Interesting.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
no
So
question about it.
for those of you who maybe want to lay a little bit of money on that
Yeah, I
might
love
not
the
be
over.
right. That you love the over for the Jets to win more than 9.5 games this year.
Yeah, I can't. 10-7, 11-6 for them this year, no question. You never know; a game can go this way, that way, but the defense is going to have something to play for this year. At times, it looked like that they were at a county morgue, and they were still putting in last year. So and now you're just like, let's go out and get it. Come on now.
So we're excited for game one with the Jets and the 49ers, huh?
Oh yeah, that's going to be on our to take list. There's no doubt about it. First episode for week 1 for the regular season. It will guarantee be on our games to take. No question about it. But you have to tune in to find out what we're taking today.
Absolutely, you do. Absolutely, you do. To get what I call these gems, to get these doses of gambling knowledge.
Yeah.
We don't make guarantees.
No.
But what I will guarantee is if you bet with us, if you take Mr. Center's advice and pick what he picks, you will win money. You heard his record over the past 5 years, over 70%. He's hit 9 out of the last 10 Super Bowls. Let me say that one more time. 9 out of the last 10 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That, off the top of my head, is 90%.
It is.
Over 10 years in Super Bowls, which blows Vegas out of the water.
Not too shabby.
Did you want to talk a little bit about your process, Mr. Sanders, and how you kind of go about things, or just want to let people wait and see?
Yeah, look, it's pretty simple. Like I've discussed before, the way that we take games as far as our points go, no hooks, no half a point.
Right.
It's about getting, people want to get their money's worth. And to me, I like to look at it to where if I'm making money, I'm getting my money's worth. I'm not worried about making an extra $3 to $5 out of every 100. I'd rather make $85 betting 100, taking a point or two, than making $94 taking the line that you get. $10, $9, $5 means nothing to me, because you lost by half a point, and in the meantime, I took it. So while you're $100 broke, I'm $185 richer.
There we go. And the beautiful thing about this Spades and Parlays podcast, ladies and gentlemen, bettors and bettees, is that, Mr. Sanders has already done the work for you. He's done the research. He's read every article there's to read. He's watched every single preseason game from beginning to end.
Word.
So if you want to just be lazy, kick back, make a little bit of money, check us out. Right? We have an Instagram page. Go ahead and follow us on that. Yep. We have a YouTube page. Go ahead and subscribe to that.
Word.
Right? Give us your likes. Tell your friends. Because when we start making you money, you're going to want to try and spread the wealth and tell everybody about it.
Yeah, you want to tell your friends who tell their friends who tell their friends, and then we could be friends. Yes.
Right? And then we can fucks with each other. Right?
I'm telling you.
Right. I'm saying. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for tuning in this week. Please stay tuned for upcoming podcasts. Look out for our shorts, which we'll be doing several throughout the week.
Yeah.
And come season, and when there's Thursday night games that we're picking, because we'll be taking some Thursday night games.
Yeah.
We're probably doing a special podcast on Wednesdays, the night before the game, just to give you some info on our Thursday game.
Possibly.
Still ironing out some of those details.
Yeah.
But be looking out for that. There are some very interesting Thursday night games this year that we will be interested in. Right? So for Mr. Wright, Mr. Sanders, thank you very much.
And Mr.
Thank all
Grassy
of you
Fields is
for-
appreciated too.
Mr. Grassy Fields, thank you, sir. He is also our IT technical support.
He
Right?
is.
He does.
Much love.
Yep, he's younger than me and Mr. Sanders, so you know
Yes.
how the young folks know these computer things, and I'm just a blue collar guy. I work and love football, so
I'm saying.
Yeah, let's go. So signing off. Thank you very much for giving me your time and your ear. Put some money where we tell you to. It'll get a little bit more back than what you put in.
I'm just
Until
saying
next
to make sure
time.
you kind of check in on our shorts as well, because we will be taking some games this weekend, which obviously our podcast won't be out by then, but I'm sure we'll be talking to them if they're not playing at that time. So come Thursday, Friday, we'll be releasing our picks, which at the moment we're 6-2. And if the Jets win, we'll be 7-2 so far this preseason. And just make
Let's
sure
go.
that you check them out. And if you see them, hopefully all ends well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again. We look forward to talking with you again. And happy betting. And let's go football.
Let's go.